All right, it has been 113 days since Russia invaded Ukraine, and there are many lessons that should be learned from that. Among the takeaways is that the United States needs a strong military to deter our enemies, including Russia, from attacking us. We live in a very volatile world, but a strong military needs strong numbers, and the Army is learning a tough lesson about how not to grow their numbers. Aside from kicking out hundreds of service members who refused their COVID shot, our military leaders have been injecting transgenderism, wokeism, and so many other isms. And now they're facing the most challenging recruiting environment since the inception of an all-volunteer force nearly 50 years ago. So how concerned should we be as our military faces an ever more dangerous world with its diminishing numbers? Here to talk about this is our own Lieutenant General Jerry Boykin, FRC's Executive Vice President, a founding member of the U.S. Army's Delta Force, and his last assignment after 36 years was in the Pentagon. General, welcome back.
Thank you, Tony.
So the Chief of Staff for the Army is sending out a plea to get retired members to help recruit. They can't find men and women that are qualified and that will serve.
Yeah, and it's not the Army. It's not just the Army. It's all the
branches.
Services. It's all branches of the service.
I know. I'm not picking on the Army.
Well, it would be unusual if you didn't.
Okay.
But the larger problem is the fact that only 23% of the people that are eligible in terms of the age brackets to be in the military can actually qualify without a waiver. That is an even larger problem.
Well, I mean, we did away with waivers, or we did away with restrictions on people who are confused about their gender. Why not do away with waivers on people who are too fat or physically unfit or whatever? I mean, yeah. It's all the same, isn't it?
It is, but let's go back to what's happening inside the ranks of the military today. Their focus has to be preparing for war. I mean, nothing has changed since the inception of our military, since the creation in 1775. It's about winning wars. And what we have done with this woke agenda is we have detracted from that focus. Mm-hmm. We have young men and women today in America that don't want to be in the military because they see no necessity, no imperative to fight for their country, to serve for their country, or to serve in a professional environment with other people of like mind.
Could this be, I mean, I think this is a problem beyond the military because we have an education system that has been teaching our children, indoctrinating them with an anti-American message, basically teaching them to hate this country and what it stands for.
Right. And also, let's just take a look at some of Lloyd Austin, the Secretary of Defense's latest words, where he talked at a congressional hearing about being willing to entertain having non-binary people in the military. Well, first of all, Tony, I know you're a Marine, and that's a tough concept. But
let me get out my pen so I can draw pictures here.
What in the heck is a non-binary person? But this has come up again now recently in terms of
what do you think our enemies are doing? What do you think China is doing right now when we're talking about this?
They're laughing at us. And Tony, has there ever been a time, certainly since, let's just say since World War II, has there ever been a time when we needed a strong military like we do today? We don't have a single enemy anymore. We have multiple enemies.
I mean, you're much more astute at this than I am, but just as a basic student of history, the world is more volatile than at any time, even before, I think, the start of World War II.
There's no question about it. And given modern technology, it makes it an even more dangerous world than we've ever seen before. And it's not just nuclear. I mean, look at cyberspace. Look at outer space. Look at all of the things that our adversaries actually have an edge on. And China, for example, has been ahead of us for years in cyberspace and outer space now as well, in terms of being able to weaponize outer space. Right.
So while we're launching off Gay Pride Month, they're launching rockets into to space in China. I mean, this is it would be laughable if it weren't so serious and dangerous.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is a very serious situation. Very, very serious. And that is why we have to make some changes in this country, and you start at the ballot box. You start by thinking in terms of not just the economy, not just the border, but you start in terms of thinking national security, because it's your sons and daughters that are going to be in our military. And if they don't recruit enough, what we're going to see ultimately is another draft.
And the men and women who want to serve in our nation's military are those disproportionately that are conservative, many people with a solid foundation of faith, because they're the ones that are willing to sacrifice and give. They're not going to go into that environment. It's just not going to happen. General, we're out of time. Always great to have you join us.
It's good to be with you.